The Hidden Beast. Amara loved the quiet rhythm of creating. In the corner of her father's workshop, she spent her afternoons turning scraps of cedar into delicate songbirds. She felt the soul of the wood beneath her fingers, smoothing the grain until it felt like silk. Every shave of the chisel was a promise to herself that she could make something beautiful. Her friend Julian often came to watch. He had a way of leaning against the doorframe that made the room feel smaller. "It's coming along," he said with a thin smile, "though the left wing looks a bit heavy. I'm only telling you because a real friend wouldn't let you make a fool of yourself at the art fair." Amara felt a tiny prickle of doubt, but she forced a smile and thanked him. To shake off the feeling, they decided to hike into the old-growth woods behind the house. The air was cool and smelled of damp earth and ancient pine. They walked deep into the shadows, where the sunlight only hit the ground in golden needles. Amara felt bold in the forest, unaware that they were being watched from the thicket. Suddenly, a massive black bear crashed through the brush. It stood on its hind legs, a tower of fur and muscle, letting out a roar that vibrated in Amara's chest. Fear hit her like a cold wave. The danger was terrifying, but it was honest. The bear didn't pretend to be anything other than a wild beast protecting its territory. They scrambled back toward the trail. In the chaos, Amara tripped over a root, and a jagged branch sliced a deep line across her forearm. Julian grabbed her hand and pulled her up, his face a mask of frantic concern. The bear, satisfied that they were retreating, vanished back into the green. "I've got you," Julian whispered, clutching her arm. A week later, the scratch on Amara's arm had closed into a thin, pink line. It didn't hurt anymore, but in the workshop, Julian's words were sharper than the branch. "I saw the other entries for the fair, Amara," he said, picking up her bird. "Maybe you should sit this one out. Your style is just a bit childish compared to the others." Later that afternoon, Amara passed the school courtyard and heard a familiar laugh. She peered around a pillar to see Julian standing with Caleb, the best artist in their class. Julian was holding her wooden bird, mocking the curve of the beak and the tilt of the head. "She actually thinks she's good," Julian sneered. The sound of his laughter hurt more than the bear's roar ever could. That night, Amara sat alone in the dark workshop. She touched the faint scar on her arm. The physical wound had healed perfectly, leaving her body whole, but her mind was a tangle of whispers and self-doubt. Julian's insincerity had left a mark that didn't show on the skin, but it made her want to throw her tools away and never carve again. The next morning, Julian approached her with his usual practiced smile. "Ready to go to the park?" he asked, as if nothing had happened. Amara looked at him, and for the first time, she saw the beast clearly. A wild animal might wound the body, but a false friend wounds the spirit. She stepped back, her voice quiet but firm. "No, Julian, I'm going to finish my work." Amara returned to her bench. She realized that while she could outrun a bear, she had to outthink a betrayal. She picked up her chisel, the wood feeling warm and honest in her hand once more. The scars on her mind would take longer to fade than the one on her arm, but she knew now that the greatest wisdom was knowing which beasts to fear and which friends to leave behind.